for the entire plane ride. And the majority of the time, everybody's fine. But the fact of the matter is that either way, I would be okay if they said, you know what, that's too much for me. I'm going to move. I would not be offended by that. And I think that's one of the big values that you get from having an autistic child is that you're willing to accept other people's reactions too, much more than I would have, because that's something you could be easily offended by. I mean, it's kind of sad that somebody would say, "Oh, I don't want to sit next to that." But honestly, if I think back to me in my 20s traveling a bunch, I didn't like sitting next to kids, even if I had headphones on, any kind of, noise or kicking or movement, I'd be like, "Oh, that's so disruptive." And now you think back and you're like, what a jerk, and that's one of the beautiful things about having an autistic child is you get to see the other side, and you get to identify with it, and it's incredible. And so now as much as I may have been offended in the past, these days I just accept it. Like, oh yeah, I get it. Back in the day, I wouldn't have been happy about being next to a kid playing Monsters Inc. Or there was another instance where we got stuck on the tarmac in Tucson. No, it was Phoenix, Arizona, and there was a monsoon going on, so the plane could not take off. And at that time, he was listening to the Minion. No, it wasn't the Minion. It was the Minions singing, but it was in Despicable Me at the very end when they sing this song. And I think it's Boys to Men, and except it's Minions singing Boys to Men, and it was just on repeat, and I just repeated it over and over. It was like an hour and a half of that. And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh man, somebody's going to be very upset with me. I'm going to get some words, but most people were fine. And again, I think this is, saying the expectation, where, don't just expect everybody to be okay with it. And also don't expect everybody to not be okay with it and you're ready to fight. I think the best thing you could do in these situations is simply inform people, educate people. And a lot of times people are very willing to accept that. And then if they aren't, but they said they were, most of the time, you already won. Like I said he was going to do this, so he's doing it, and he said it was okay, so you should still be okay with it. And we really haven't had too many problems.